everyone, my name is Ola Sulaimon. Thank you for joining me today. This is the first show of several other shows to come, and it's called Ask the Tax Girl, just because I'm the tax girl. Now, every time a lot of people ask me a lot of questions, tax questions, and usually I'm always so happy to answer. So, in this new show, I'm just going to be talking about questions that have been asked for me for this show in the last 1 month. However, going on forward, I'd like you to ask me a question by sending it to my email, and then I'll answer it in the next show. Now, my name is Ola Sulaimon. Like I said earlier on, I'm a chartered accountant, also a tax advisor. Last year, I wrote my very first book, Diary of a Tax Girl. So now I'll go to the first question. Now, this last month, the month of January, someone has asked me this question. Hi, Ola, I'm trying to pay my self-assessment bill because I've just submitted my self-assessment return. And all of a sudden, the money that I've been asked to pay is double up. And I've already planned to pay a certain amount of money. And now I have to pay like 1.5 rather than 1%. Now, this is very, very common, and if you don't understand, if you're one of those that have planned yourself very well, it can be very, very annoying because you already know how much you're paying for tax, and all of a sudden, HMRC is asking you to pay half of what you've earned last year, half of the tax again in the next year. This is referred to as payment on account, and the next 1 minute I'll explain what this is. So now, usually those of us that are employed, we usually pay our tax every month. As soon as we do our work, our employee will deduct the tax and they'll give it to HMRC. Now, for self-employed people, your accounting period starts from April to March or the tax year, April 6th to April 5th every year. You don't actually have to pay tax until January 31st the year after. And I think at some point, some people decided that this is actually unfair on those that pay monthly or everything. So what they've done is then, if you're self-employed and you submitted your returns and your tax, let's say, is £1,000, they expect that, or they imagine that you're going to earn exactly the same amount next tax year. You're already in the tax year, to be fair, because usually by the time the tax year ends, you're already earning the money anyway. So what they then do is they want you to make this payment, and then you make the first one in 31st of January when you submit your return, and the next one in July. So that by the 31st of January the next year, you're not actually owing any amount except the next one. So it's usually like a rolling thing. Now, I know that some of us, because when we're self-employed, our situations changes all the time. One tax year you're earning a lot, the next tax year you're not earning as much as you've earned the last year. And now HMRC is trying to calculate this tax based on what you've earned the previous tax year. So let's say the tax year we've just submitted, 18-19. And then 19-20, you know that you've not earned as much as you've earned. What you then need to do then is you need to call HMRC and say, hello HMRC, thank you for the payment on account. I know I'm supposed to do this. However, already I know that I've not earned this much in this tax year 19-20. So can you kindly reduce my payment on account or remove it? Now they don't argue with you at this point, but they'll tell you that if at the end of the day you end up earning as much as you've earned last year, we'd have to add some interest on it. And so that's left to you. So even if you're not sure, it's good to not pull it too much down or not pay at all, because that'll be some interest that you'd pay. So that answers that question. As annoying as it is, it's what it is. Now, some people are exempted from doing payments on account. If you're employed somewhere and you're also self-employed, you can decide not to do payment on accounts. That especially if the tax you've paid in the other one is more than 1,000, or the one you're owing self-assessment is less than 1,000, and then you've paid more tax in the other job, so you can claim an exemption as well. So I hope that explains that. If you have more questions about this, please send me an email. Now, the next question I've been asked is about VAT return. When do I have to declare my VAT on the my invoices. That's the question basically. When should I declare the VAT on the invoices? Now, that depends on the system that you're using. For those of us that do not understand what VAT is value added tax. It's 20% on whatever you're trying to sell. So let's say someone comes to me now for accountancy and I give them an invoice. My fees is £1,000, but I have to charge them 1,000 too. I'll give HMRC £200 just because I'm VAT registered. Now, when do I have to declare this £200 to HMRC? That's what that means basically. So the answer to that is it depends on the system that you're using. If you're using the accurate basis, you have to declare it when you've been paid this month, as soon as you've given out the invoice. So as soon as this person has come to me, I've issued the invoice to them, that is within that accounting period, I need to declare it to HMRC and pay HMRC. However, if I run a cash system basis, I will only declare it when I've been paid, when the money has gone into my bank account. A lot of people, most people, small businesses, they go by the cash system. However, there are exemptions. There are some people that are not allowed to go on that cash system. So you need to be careful and make sure you're allowed to actually do that in the first place. Now, the question is now like, what about if this person does not pay me this money that I've declared to HMRC, I've paid HMRC the VAT, and then all of a sudden they're not paying me? Now, I'm not literally losing my services. I've worked for them for £1,000. They've not paid me, but also I'm losing out £200 that I've paid to HMRC. In that case, if that's your situation, you can claim something that is called the bad debt relief. Bad debt relief is something that you can claim if you've paid HMRC VAT that you thought you were going to get from your client. However, 6 months must have gone past for that to have happened. That person must have actually received the services or they've received the goods, and there's no way that you can get this money back. So then after 6 months, you can go to HMRC and try to claim this money. I hope that explains that question. If you have more questions about that, please let me know. So the next one is repayment from HMRC. Now, somebody's asked me and said, I can see it. I've submitted my return by myself and I can see that they've said I've overpaid tax. It's possible to overpay tax. It happens at times when either you've got more than one permanent jobs, or you've moved jobs around and somebody has used the wrong tax code for you, or probably you're running a business and you've made a loss, and at times they let you claim back some of the tax you paid during the year. Now, how can you reclaim this? Either when you're submitting your returns, you put your bank details in and submit it, and automatically the payment comes into your bank account. Or if this is not the case, you can actually call HMRC and tell them that you would like to reclaim such amount of money. Or better still, you need to go to your online gateway as well and reclaim the amount, and within 7 days. At times, automatically they will give you the money. However, I don't wait for them to actually literally come back to you before you get the money back. So I'm trying not to go over 10 minutes, and this is just 3 questions for this week. Hopefully next week I'll have more questions that you will be sending me, and I would love to answer them, because at the end of the day, tax information is very, very important. It's important because you're saving money from HMRC, money because your case is not complicated yet and you don't need to pay someone like me to charge you loads of money, and because you'll be able to solve the problem easier. I hope this video has helped you somehow, and it has opened the lights, and all of a sudden you know what you're doing wrong, you know how to move forward, or probably you need help. My name is Ola Sulaiman, and if you'd like to contact me, you can go to our website www.ronsaccountant.co.uk. Thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely weekend.